Yes, everybody, what's going on? My name is Stephen Howson, and this is Joseph.
Hello.
This is United Review. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to give it a like if you enjoy winning matches and 3 points, because I don't know about you, Joe, but I do.
We love it. It's 4 of the last 5 we've won now. Or is it 5 of the last 6 even?
I don't know.
Something, isn't it? Something good.
It's something like that. Yeah, I guess it's just that blip against Bournemouth.
Yeah, it's a shame it came in the league because we've not got enough wins in the league. But if you look at the last sort of 3 weeks, it's a tricky period with a lot of away games and a lot of games in general. We've won all but one of them. Not bad.
Give us a like if you're happy with that. I mean, I think we're going to stay up now.
The thing is, it's that Christmas period, isn't it? We'll decide whether we're going to get relegated over that Christmas period, but so far it looks pretty good.
We've had a comment saying the mic sound weird. Can one of you in there monitor it, please? And just see what it is. Thank you. Thanks for the comment as well, Carl. Numberhard. I was pretty happy with the match. Do you know what? There was a sequence of play that didn't result in a goal, but it did result in a shot, and I really enjoyed it. And it was De Gea throwing it out to Rashford, who drove into space, linked up with Martial, and I think Martial ended up having the shot. That was my favourite bit of play from United.
I just thought generally the way we almost like manufactured counter-attacks. Like we sort of let them come onto us a bit in the midfield, and instead of relying on them pressing too high, we just sort of let them push up a little bit, and as soon as they did, we had Rashford running behind, Martial running behind like we saw for Rashford's goal, and we had Dan James running behind all game.
Dan James very good today.
Really good.
I've been critical of him for his final ball, which at the time I thought was valid, and he's no longer valid. His final ball. I don't know if that's just because there's a knowing of his teammates. Like he's just got used to the sort of runs and the sort of areas that those take up.
Yeah. He doesn't seem quite as...
Getting a lot of comments about my mic. Can we get a third mic on for us and swap us out when you get a chance?
Yeah, it seems like he almost had a bit of a giddiness when he first came in.
How about that, eh? Lads and lasses. We get rid of this one.
Have I got a spare one? No, I ain't got a spare one. Let's hope this one doesn't mess up.
Is this one working now? Is this one live as well?
Here we go again.
How about that, everybody?
Yeah.
Get now. I've got another new presenter down here as well. I can pull out.
Stay there.
Just if,
hey, what have I told you? Just in case. If I pass out.
Both fans. Anyway. What was he saying? Oh, yeah, the link-up play. Dan James deserved an applaud. It's probably just not man of the match today, because I thought Fred probably stole that from him with some real neat and tidy and sensible and play and stuff like that.
Yeah, like the Rashford chance that he missed inexplicably from 5 yards out. That was brilliant play from James there, and the lovely bit of composure for the pass.
Do you know what? I'm kind of glad. Hang on, I've just got a response here about is Bugsy Malone coming on the 24-hour podcast. He's turning down paid work at the minute.
Fair enough.
I'll defo ask the question, but don't hold your breath. There you go. That's fair enough. Which I will reply. Fair enough.
Just texting.
Cheers, pal.
Send a few texts on the video.
So for those of you who don't know, actually, and we haven't necessarily announced this, we are doing the 24-hour charity podcast, which we do every single year, raising money for the homeless in Manchester. It's our 3rd year for doing it. We're trying to bring in a little bit more structure for it this time around, because it's, as you may know from working here, fucking mayhem.
Well, it's going to be in it. I mean, you doing 24 hours of a live stream is going to be pretty fun. I want to see how many Red Bull you get through. If it's less than 30, I'll be upset.
What if I die on camera?
Views, isn't it?
It's good cause, isn't it?
Just views. It's just
for
views.
A good cause, isn't it?
Yeah, and we'll all be homeless by the end of it, so we can have the money from the stream.
So we are doing a 24-hour podcast on the 23rd of November. We start at 10 a.m. We'll go right through to 10 a.m. on the 24th of November, trying to figure out how we get some players involved. We've got a couple of boxers confirmed already. There'll obviously be some fighters, MMA fighters. I slung Tyson Fury a message.
Did you?
Yeah, he follows me for some reason on Twitter, and I thought, well, let's abuse this power. So slung him a message, which he hasn't replied to yet.
Oh, you're joking.
But as you know, I'm trying to get everyone we can think of Mancunian. That's why I know Bugsy Malone's agent, so I'd messaged him and said, can we get Bugsy Malone on? I think he'd be pretty good for it. But yeah, basically, like, we have got something pretty special. You can go on the 23rd of November to Northern Soul Grilled Cheese, which is a couple of in Manchester, and you can ask for a Howson special. This is legit. Right? This is actually legit. You can ask for a Howson special, and they will serve you a pizza, grilled cheese,
Talk me through that then.
and a Red Bull.
What's a pizza grilled cheese first?
So
of all?
it's got pepperoni chicken, a tomato base, and a little bit of garlic and herb, and like mozzarella on it. On a grilled cheese sandwich.
And you get a Red Bull with it.
Served with a Red Bull.
That's amazing.
And the proceeds of that will be going to the cause as well. So there you go. So that was it. Yeah.
What about today's game then?
Yeah, so should we talk about today's game?
Yeah.
Is that what everyone's here for? Is it really what everyone's here for?
Some people are here for that.
Probably is
I'd
what
have
some
thought.
of you are here for. Brandon Williams, is there a better left back that's ever played football?
He's just our left back now, isn't he? He's just come in.
Fucking
he's just
better
been
be.
brilliant.
He better be. If he doesn't get first choice, but if he let's be serious now. It's probably Maldini. That was the greatest ever.
Yeah,
Probably
because
Maldini.
Williams is only 18, 19. Yeah.
So let's be serious now. If Brandon keeps putting in the performances to the level that he's putting in,
Yeah.
is he the first choice? Is he our best left back?
I think Luke Shaw, I mean, he's certainly better than Ashley Young. I think Luke Shaw isn't better than him, if you know what I mean. I think you maybe go with Shaw in the same way that he's gone with Young, that kind of, he's played more, he's more of a known quantity, he's less sort of rash. You kind of know what you're getting from Luke Shaw. But other than that, I think it's literally just the number of games played is his only advantage.
His attitude's outrageously good, isn't it?
It seems like it. It's just everywhere all the time, and he offers more going forward, and he's more willing to get forward. There's a chance today when he was shooting from 8 yards out to the goal is near post. When's the last time Luke Shaw had a shot? Since that goal he scored last
if
season.
that had gone in, I think I was just going home.
Yeah,
Just
we were saying that on the thing that you'd have just sprinted, took your shirt off and sprinted down to the
I'm
pitch.
on tier 2. That's an effort, that is.
Yeah, you can jump that wall.
Yeah, I'd probably sprain my ankle.
Yeah, definitely.
Getting down there.
Landing on someone's head underneath.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I've had so many painkillers today. I'm nearly in tears with my ankle.
Is it?
It's fucking killing me.
Which one?
Right one.
Oh, I can't get to that one. Trying to get you in the old, what is it? Wrestling, twist it around a little bit.
Yeah, I think Young's probably going to play a significant number of games, I think, till the end of the season. But there should be some sort of mental check note from Solskjaer if it's genuinely on performance and merit.
Yeah.
That Ashley Young's time as a starter at United is over, and Brandon Williams is just being prepared to be our first choice left back.
The only reason he wouldn't play is just you trying to ease him in physically. I think that's the only reason he shouldn't play every game for the rest of the season. I don't think there's any question about his quality or his talent. He's excellent again today.
Yeah, I think it's nice to see young players come through with character as well, because too often, like if I said to you an academy player, there's an archetype of a footballer, an archetype of a man or a boy or a teenager that you think of in your head, and it's probably walking around with a Gucci fucking wash bag.
Yeah.
Probably hasn't played a fucking game.
Yeah.
And probably going to end up in League 2 or finishing out of the game. They're probably very good on the ball. They're probably neat and tidy. But they've had all of that edge rounded off.
Yeah.
You don't see many players with an edge coming through the academy system.
No.
Brandon's got multiple edges, like a fucking ninja star.
Definitely, yeah. He's just being flung through the air every time he moves, isn't he? Yeah, we were saying before the game on the watch-along at Stretford Paddock that this team now looks... To me, one thing you can credit Solskjaer for already, despite the performances, is everyone who plays for this team looks like they want to play for this team and looks like they really want to win. Sometimes Shaw just felt a bit... He pulls out of a tackle here and there. He doesn't quite get back when he can. Mostly, everyone in this team now, Williams is a perfect example of it, is raring to go, wants to win everything, will fight for every ball. And like you said, that doesn't seem to have been rounded off him by the youth system in any way.
Alex Keenan says delusional title. It's a fucking question, you idiot, for starters. Yeah. It's a question, and we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah, we will.
I don't know what that means. Oh. Huh? No, I still don't know what the question means. I thought I got it. Nope, not got it. It's still mad.
You didn't get it.
If he's good enough, age shouldn't matter with Brandon Williams. No, it shouldn't. And that is a genuine thing that I was like, if you can put in performances with the level of consistency and maturity, then you're ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's quite easy for a young player to come in and just light the place up, but being able to repeat that consistently. Has Brandon not put in a 7 or 8 out of 10 performance yet.
No. I can't think of a mistake he's made. I mean, he's given the ball away a couple of times, but in terms of a mistake that you would go, oh yeah, he looked like a younger, like he's been bullied or he's been sort of, someone's nudged him out of the way from a corner in that kind of like older head way of doing things. None of that's happened.
No, and he's got a bit of a snideness to him. I'm sorry I'm messing with my eye, everyone. The cold makes my eyes water like mad, and it's pissing freezing at the moment.
Yeah, it's cold, isn't it?
Oh, here we go. Alex Keenan says, Howson, you rate Lingard, so you are the idiot, you twat. Oh, soz. There's a lot of Jesse Lingard slander out there. Do you know what? Jesse played really well when he came on today.
Yeah, I thought he was good.
He's been really poor and deserves to not be starting, but if he's making his way back into the team, he's looked pretty decent.
That was a funny comment. You twat at the end of it for really no reason.
Yeah, he's just really mad because he's got a little dick. So I think top 4. Can we push for the top 4? I still think no.
Yeah.
I still think this is better.
Yeah.
But I think top 4 is... Leicester really took 1 foot forward on that last night.
Yeah, they did.
Really looked like the 1 foot forward. I mean, we got a fucking 6-pointer coming up after international break with Sheffield United.
Yeah.
I think if we pulled out 6 points there, let's pull the table up. Let's have a quick gander.
Yeah, with the top 4, you're looking at who's going to come out of it, aren't you? And that was the thing before you thought Leicester, this bubble will burst for Leicester at some point. But the way that Vardy scoring goal after goal, and like you said, them beating another team in and around that question like Arsenal, quite convincing.
Well, they're technically second at the moment. Wow.
And they're going to stay second.
They are going to stay second, it looks like.
City don't come back against Liverpool.
I think the top 4 will be the current people that occupy the top 4 spaces, but I think Leicester probably 3rd or 4th, Chelsea 3rd or 4th, City 2nd, and it looks like the dark side's probably going to have a Premiership arriving there. Sheffield United, Arsenal, they're not going to be there by the end of the season, I don't think. Sheffield United, goals against is terrifyingly good.
It's insane, isn't it?
9 goals against. Yeah. We're not doing too bad ourselves, to be honest, either.
Yeah.
Are we the 4th best defence?
Yeah, I think level 4th with City.
Yeah, so that's not so terrible, is it? There. So the best defence is Leicester's, after they just sold the best centre-half, or most expensive centre-half. Then it's Sheffield United and Liverpool. And then it's City and United.
Yeah.
And that's 17. 17 puts Arsenal level with Brighton's, Tottenham's, worse than Crystal Palace, worse than Bournemouth, worse than Wolves. Yeah. It's a bottom half amount of goals to have conceded.
It's less goals scored than Aston Villa, but so is United. That's United's problem as well.
Yes, and also if you look at the goals for, Sheffield United's is 13. That's relegation fodder really, but because they're so good at the back, they've snuck loads of 1-0s, and they're picking up draws and just not really losing many, to be honest.
They're not lost away from home yet this season.
Mental. So when you say, can we push for top 4? I mean, there's an 8-point gap between City, and Sheffield United and Arsenal. I think that could get closed over December, but I think come the end of the season, it'll probably be that or greater.
Yeah. Well, Chelsea are on this brilliant run of form that I don't think they're good enough to sustain. I think Leicester... Again, I don't want to question them after what they did a few years ago, but you would think they will drop some points at some time. It's just whether the teams behind them. Like I said, the gap between us and the top 4 is already 9 points, which is basically similar to what it was when Solskjaer came in. I think it was maybe 11 then. And what we saw then was, even with a great run of form, you close that gap. You've just had your good run of form. And then now and we saw at the end of the season, we lost that run of form and they pulled away again. So closing down a 9-point gap this early on is going to be very difficult, but it's not impossible.
I think we can come 5th.
I think there's no reason we shouldn't come 5th.
I think 5th would probably be the limit of where this team comes this year.
Yeah.
Unless if you just go on a fucking run that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which we've seen was in this team, I guess, last year, but that was a team with Herrera, Lukaku and Sanchez, and for the little that they did,
it's just numbers, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a deeper squad. So I'm not sure.
And also, as bad as Tottenham have been, they are only 2 points behind us. So if they have a great run, which they are capable of, as we've seen them do for the last 3 years, they could turn this around and. They'll be there or thereabouts by the end of the season. I'm sure they're on horrific run of form at the moment, though, aren't they?
Tottenham. I mean, there's West Ham on 13. So Sheffield United on 17. 4 points covers from 5th to 16th.
Yeah.
4 points.
Well, it's still very early in the season. Tight. It's being skewed by the fact that these 4 teams, well, those 3 City, Chelsea, Leicester have all been excellent, and Liverpool on another planet. But other than that, it's just a close early season table, isn't it?
Yeah, just over a quarter. Well, nearly a third of the way in, essentially. About a third of the way in. Yeah, I think, well, United pick up another 3 points against Sheffield United.
Yeah.
That would literally put us at least 5th. At least 6th, possibly 5th, depending on how Arsenal get on. Who are they playing?
Southampton.
Is that who Arsenal have got next?
Yeah.
Oh, that was it,
Southampton at home.
So that should be 3 points. That should be 3 points for Arsenal. Yeah. Maybe we'll watch that as a watch along on the 24-hour podcast.
Oh, perhaps.
Because we are doing all sorts of like watch alongs all the way throughout the day.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So yeah, I think top 4.
Yeah,
we could push. What it's going to require is an absolute collapse. Now, could City be an absolute collapse because they've got a tough December? Like all of us, we've got a lot of games in December, and if they've got these injuries that Barcelona can't cure quick enough before they're able to go and reinforce and spend like 150 million in January.
Yeah, the thing that with City though, they've only got Laporte injured, haven't they? They're going on about all these injuries. It's one centre back.
Otamendi's out as well, isn't he?
Who's he? They've spent 400 million quid on defenders in the last 3 years, and you have one injury, and all of a sudden you're a terrible team who can't defend.
They had that a lot when Company was out as well.
And then they've got rid of him, not replaced him, and then someone else got injured.
They're having to play their youngsters.
Oh no!
Heaven forbid!
How dare they play fullbacks at the Spanish fullbacks that Guardiola's picked, and they have to play.
Wait a minute! Floating Man says, "I'm a United supporter, but want Liverpool to win the league."
Come on,
sort your fucking life out, mate.
Yeah, that's silly.
So it wakes up our fans who pay to keep the Glazers in.
Well, what do you think will happen if Liverpool win the league? How's it going to wake up our fans? What are we going to do? What does that lead to? Liverpool win the league. What happens to our fans?
You must be a Liverpool fan that's commented that, because that's an absolute load of bollocks. Ollie came in, we were 6th, we finished 6th, and we're probably going to finish 6th again. But remember, propaganda that we've improved, deluded, says Eric King. The squad's been degraded. Yeah. You can't say the squad's been added to. It's not. We've improved the defence, provably, considering that he's a more attacking manager than Mourinho was. But he's had some serious amount of internationals sold out from underneath him.
Yeah. And Mourinho was buying players for the short term, buying big, tall players who were approaching their 30s or in their 30s. So the expectation on Mourinho was this season or next season, and he didn't get there. He left us in 6th. He was meant to come in and win us the league in 2 seasons. Solskjaer, the talk the whole time is buying younger players for less money, and it's a long-term investment. So that's why he's not necessarily being judged quite as quickly.
Half of me thinks that strategy is, we've got lemons and the Glazers have said, lemonade time.
Potentially.
Because they've said, we're not going to invest, you're not going to get superstar Galactico signings, go cheaper. So they've gone, well, if we're going cheaper, we might as well go for the younger ones. Yeah. So they've gone, it's a strategy to buy younger, cheaper ones. Maybe. When in reality, they might just not be getting the money.
Yeah, well, there is that. But then at some point, you can always find the reason to have no faith in anything. And if you're looking at reasons why Solskjaer's being judged slightly differently to Mourinho, that would be it for me.
Floating Man says, stop buying merch, flipping make a proper stand with our wallets. United make a fucking pitiful amount of money through our merchandise. It's the TV companies that make them the money, our kid. Even the matchday revenue, which is hundreds of pounds that we pay, they could have let all of us in for free for the last 14 years. Mate. It's
certainly
not
the last 5 years.
Do you know what? It's so easy for people that aren't attending matches to tell people who are attending matches to stop attending matches. What are you doing? What are you actually doing that puts you out? Don't ask other people to put themselves out when you're not willing to do the same thing. Right, I'm going to head over to the Discord chat for the Patreons. Absolutely flown up. Nearly 800. On Patreon at the moment. It's fucking outstanding. I am in the process of finalising when that one's going to be. Thinking Derby Day for Wes Brown. So a big Manchester United player on Derby Day from Manchester.
2 Champions Leagues.
2 Champions Leagues. Thinking about that's what we're probably going to do. If you want to watch that, it'll only be on Patreon. If you want to attend, if you are a Patreon member, you'll be allowed to come. If not, you fucking not. The link for this Patreon is in the description. You probably heard loads about it over the last month or so. Banging little community. Some knobhead tries to leak some of the information from there, which causes a fucking nightmare for everybody that's playing by the rules that are in there. But we will sort that what's going on with that very soon, and everyone will have full access to everything very shortly once again. I do apologise, but as always, one fucking person ruins it for everyone. And before you know it, you've got to take your fucking shoes off getting on a plane. Right, Vol says, what's the plan if McTominay's out for an extended period?
Don't know.
What a mad fucking scenario to be in. Is Matic right?
He's not fit.
He's not match fit,
and is he any good when he is fit?
I didn't think he was bad in the last substitute appearance. I can't remember who that was against.
I think it was about 20 minutes though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's just whether he has to play 5 games in 2 weeks, like he's going to have to over Christmas. If like I said, if it's an extended period, Pogba's only just coming back, so it's going to be another case where. What, do you think he'll never play for United again?
No, I do. Is he though? That's what I'm saying. Still wearing that fucking boot. It's like one of them knobheads who goes to a fucking festival last year still wearing the fucking.
Yeah, it's like Keith Lemon still got the fucking wrist brace on, hasn't he? He's had it on for 5 years.
Dean. And it also ties in with Abraham's comment as well. I know it's only Brighton, but have we seen a turnaround with 5 wins in the last 6? I think we've seen more of a turnaround in terms of how we're creating chances against teams. A little bit. I think that's encouraging. Rashford needs open net warm-up before the match. 3-0. Scousers are winning 3-0. And you say it's only Brighton, but they were above us in the table before the game started.
And it's certainly a turnaround, isn't it? It's not necessarily the turnaround that sees us winning the league in 2 years, but it's a turnaround.
It's better than not doing, isn't it?
It's better than what we were doing before. So yeah, in the literal sense, it's certainly.
And Marcus has to score those. Those are the chances that you want him to get. Yeah. And here's the thing: he scored a goal. And he missed a couple of chances to get even more goals. And that's what the likes of Sterling and Kane and all these other strikers get time and time again.
Because we made 10 chances today.
Bingo.
Rather than 2.
Ed, what do I think was the main reason we performed better than last week? Was it a tactical change? I don't think there was any tactical change. I think United are starting to have a bit of an identity. It's not perfect, and it's still a little bit disjointed. There was fluidity in the final third, which Marshall helps bring because he's a quality footballer. And I think there was a levelling up in terms of Fred's performance. Yeah, Brandon Williams is like an extra 3 players versus when you have Ashley Young on the pitch. So there was just a decent level. All right, Maguire was good today. Really solid. Just a pure solid performance. That's the difference. When you have 5 or 6 players that have a good performance, you win fucking matches.
Yeah. And also last week, I know it's followed a pattern of games we've lost over the last few years, but under Ferguson, you go away to Bournemouth. The weather was horrific, wasn't it? Windy, blowing, freezing. They're the sort of games that are always a difficult game to play in, and they just were a little bit unlucky. But today, like I said, we had 5 or 6 players that played well. Our squad's better than theirs, so you win.
Yeah. I think our guest for the next one's here, but I'll carry on through our... questions. Is Rashford too disrespected? 9 goals and assists this season, on course of his best season, and he's been arguably under par. Yeah, he's totally disrespected. Marcus. Would Mata have created more today instead of the pressing game of Pereira, which would have started the game? If Mata was fresh, I would have gone with Mata. I didn't see that much pressing. I watched the games back normally tonight, but I'm not going to watch the game back tonight because I'm going Bahrain on Tuesday, and me and Callum are going, we've got loads of fucking packing and all sorts to do. So tomorrow's podcast we're doing tonight, and then tomorrow will be a couple of videos to bank for while we're away.
By Bahrain, you don't mean that bar that's called Rain just off Deansgate, do you?
No.
You mean the country?
Yeah, definitely.
It's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, I'm going to do some right panic tanning while I'm away.
What, that moisturiser with a little added sheen?
No, just baby oil, mate, just straight in the mix.
Oh, yeah, love that.
Do we underestimate how good McSauce is? He keeps it simple, but he seems the only one who carries the ball at the pitch from defence. He's very good at that, but he still does hold on to it just a tad too long for me, I think.
I think we've got a couple that do that. Pereira did that. He did that for his goal, funnily enough. He held on too long and got tackled. And then the ball back and a bit of a poor shot that went in. But I think especially in Pogba's absence, McTominay is the only one who brings the ball up for us like that.
Thoughts on James has improved his crossing. Maybe he listened to Howson's criticism. Very unlikely. I was say very unlikely.
No, I think it was that.
It's pretty unlikely.
It's almost certainly that.
Thoughts on a front four of Pogba, James, Marshall and Rashford? Well, Pogba have to get fit, but I think it would be an improvement. It would certainly free him up to do what I think he likes to do, whether or not he's good at it or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
How good was Marshall? Was he man of the match? No. I don't know.
It's pretty good, though. A goal and 2 assists.
I mean, yeah, he created quite a lot of chances. I saw that. But man of the match, I think he would have been quite far down the pecking order for that, to be honest. Do I think we're finally showing the results that of the work that's supposedly been worked on since the first Chelsea game? Maybe. Maybe it's just a case of having someone like Marshall back in the team is just an extra bit of quality in the team without getting too giddy. And maybe Fred's relaxed because he looked confident today.
Yeah, he did.
Because he's not looked confident previously.
What is it, sort of 7 or 8 games in a row he's played now?
Yeah.
That's where your confidence comes from, isn't it?
Over the past couple of games, we've started to carve out a number of clear-cut chances. This is from Schnappo. Are we starting to see Ollie's game plan come to fruition, or have the number of chances created been down to the quality of the position? No, I think that's what he's after doing. Yeah. And I think a focal point of that is a good number 9. Whether that is Marshall or somebody else going forward, I think he's just a good number 9.
Yeah.
Injury solution for McTominay. I don't know. Let's find out how bad it is. Yeah. He got an international break. It's 2 weeks. Let's hope it's
Hopefully
not
it's just a bit of a sprained ankle in his
But he's been hobbling for a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Well, he limped off against Bournemouth, didn't he?
Yeah. Fred and McGoat are looking like they can work together. Where do I think Pogba comes in? Does he take Pereira's role? I think so. I would still like to see maybe that more of a 3 than a 4-2-3-1 middle. But yeah. Blossoming and promising link-ups are emerging. Do I think Tony is more important to the team than Pogba? No, I think they're both very important players if they're both playing well. I think if you put Pogba in where Pereira is, I think you see a lot more chances created for United.
Yeah.
A Brandon Williams song. Is this Brandon Williams' world and we're all just living in it?
It does. It feels like it at the moment, doesn't it?
It does.
He's been excellent.
I'm sure he's absolutely fucking buzzing his little tits off. Would I keep Fred and McTominay at the base and Pogba as a 10? Yeah, I think I would, to be honest. Although it seems like Solskjaer in his head at least thinks Fred is taking Pogba's spot at the moment.
Yeah, the way he spoke about it a few times, he's saying stuff like, certainly while Pogba's out, he'll get this run of games and stuff, yeah.
Ahmed says, this is Jesse's best game this season for us. Looked dangerous and up for it, but I know he offers more off the ball, but I thought he offered a lot on the ball today. I also thought on the ball he was very good, and I certainly would have said yes, this probably was his best game this season, because he's been shit this season, let's be honest.
And I think he looks so much better when he's playing alongside Pogba as well, because Lingard's runs and the stuff, like I said, off the ball stuff that he does can really only get picked out by Pogba. We don't have anyone else who can pick out those runs quite as
Sean says Fred was man of the match. Is this his best all-round game in the United shirt? Might be.
Yeah.
Where did that player Fredison come from? Babe, I know we won today, but I'm only concerned that we are buying more of aren't burying more of our chances. Nah, you score 3 goals, mate. It's
if
cool.
you make 10 chances and score 3 goals, that's just under a 30% chance conversion, which isn't too bad.
Have things changed since the last international break? There's a lot more of a system here. The players seem to have more confidence about the play. As always, fail to put a few decent results together. It's all meaningless. Correct. We're very fragile, I think, United at the moment. Like, we are one result from it being like, all right, we've turned the corner to fuck me, this guy's shit, get him off.
Yeah. Well, then the Bournemouth game, though, it's good to see us bounce back from that, because that's easy. It's easy to sort of let those kind of results affect you. We've won 2 games again since then. And the way that we conceded a goal today, 2-1, could have easily sort of sat back and tried to hold out for 2-1. We pushed back on again, and arguably our best period of play was after they scored, which I thought was really promising.
What was the XG on Marcus's miss?
It's got to be 70, 80%.
No, they don't get that high. It's that one. 62.62. 62% chance. McTominay apparently should have scored one before that. Safe shot. Don't remember that one.
That was the goal.
Oh, was it the goal?
Yeah.
Oh, because it was an own goal, wasn't it? That's how they put it through like that. Okay. Yeah. And then there was a Dan James one.
But he got a good touch on it. It just hit the goalie, didn't it? Diving in at the
that
back
was actually
post.
a bigger chance according to expected goals.
But it wasn't though, was it? Because he was jumping and diving and he just got anything he could on it, whereas Rashford...
Yeah, it's a 6.63, that.
Yeah.
That was the best chance of the game. But, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 shots from inside the box. That I'm happy about. Yeah. I'm very, 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 very happy about that.
Well, like I said before, talking about City making chances, that allows your strikers to miss the sorts of chances that all strikers miss, and you still score 3 goals. You have to make more chances. No striker in the world scores every chance to get.
A. Newsman says, not a big fan of Fred, but he was good today. Seemingly bound for inconsistency with his squad, but if we persist in this starting lineup in the Prem until Pogba comes back, it's a good idea. And how fucking well is Dan James coming along? Yeah, happy birthday, Dan James. Do you know what? The most impressive thing is taking it in his stride, the loss of his father and joining Manchester United at the same time. I don't think any of us would have taken it as well.
Horrific and just an incredible period for a person to go through.
Why is Jabir putting questions in here when he was standing with me an hour ago? In fact, you might have put this in the chat while you were standing with me, looking at the timing of it. All aboard the bandwagon. He definitely put that there because there was some guy come up to me and said he was on the bandwagon. Yeah, they're talking about the Brandon Williams bandwagon. Why didn't we protect McTominay after the third? Yeah, I mean, you could probably throw that up at him there. Off topic, but thoughts on this? What is that? That is a Sunday dinner pizza. Well, I don't know.
Get a broccoli off pizza.
Yeah, but get broccoli off pizza. That's worse than pineapple. But I'm open to trying it.
Oh, yeah, try it.
Right, do you know what? I'm going to leave it there because I think my guest has arrived. I see someone come make a brew, so I'm assuming it's that because I didn't get asked if I wanted one.
Neither did I, actually.
Right, thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Come and check out the link for Patreon in the description. Have a good international break. I hope you go do something that's fucking interesting and not watch international football. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Laters.